No es un secreto que los medios de comunicación tienen una gran influencia en el estado de ánimo de la gente, en nuestro pensamiento, en nuestros comportamientos. Pero durante el siglo pasado, era aún mayor la posibilidad de enloquecer a las masas a través de las noticias. El problema es que ni la gente ni los medios parecían estar alertas de ello. No fue así sino hasta que sucedió lo impensable. La transmisión de un noticiero que anunciaba una invasión extraterrestre habría causado tanto caos que finalmente el ser humano se dio cuenta del poder que tenía con su voz. Sucedió el 30 de octubre de 1938. Curiosamente, una época muy especial del año según las supersticiones, para traer el miedo, las fuerzas oscuras, lo sobrenatural. Las noches en aquellos años estaban más cerca del silencio que ahora en nuestros días. A pesar de que entonces ya grandes ciudades dejaban poco a poco de dormir, la mayoría de los poblados en toda la tierra se iban apagando en silencio junto con la puesta de sol. Ya en la oscuridad, casi plena y apenas interrumpida por la emergente red eléctrica, las personas se disponían a realizar las pocas actividades que a la noche dedicaban. A las 8, como de costumbre, ya casi todos los habitantes de los Estados Unidos de Norteamérica en aquel entonces se encontraban en casa. Pero también, como usualmente lo hacían, la mayoría de ellos escuchaba la radio. Un noticiero había ya dado inicio y todos atentos se dispusieron a escuchar. Pero no todos lo habrían hecho a tiempo. La mayoría habría llegado tarde a la transmisión de un noticiario que ya había comenzado.
Ladies and gentlemen, we interrupt our program of dance music to bring you a special bulletin from the Intercontinental Radio News. At 20 minutes before 8 Central Time, Professor Farrell of the Mount Jennings Observatory, Chicago, Illinois, reports observing several explosions of incandescent gas occurring at regular intervals on the planet Mars. The spectroscope indicates the gas to be hydrogen and moving toward the Earth with enormous velocity. Professor Pearson of the observatory at Princeton confirms Farrell's observation and describes the phenomenon as, quote, like a jet of blue flame shot from a gun, unquote. We now return you to the music of Ramon Raquello, playing for you in the Meridian Room of the Park Plaza Hotel, situated in downtown New York.
And now a tune that never loses favor, the ever-popular Stardust, Raymond Raquello and his orchestra.
Ladies and gentlemen, following on the news given in our bulletin a moment ago, the Government Meteorological Bureau has requested the large observatories of the country to keep an astronomical watch on any further disturbances occurring on the planet Mars. Due to the unusual nature of this occurrence, we have arranged an interview with the noted astronomer, Professor Pearson, who will give us his views on this event. In a few moments, we will take you to the Princeton Observatory at Princeton, New Jersey. We return you until then to the music of Ramon Raquello and his orchestra. ready now to take you to the Princeton Observatory at Princeton, where Carl Phillips, our commentator, will interview Professor Richard Pearson, famous astronomer. We take you now to Princeton, New Jersey.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Carl Phillips speaking to you from the observatory at Princeton. I'm standing in a large semicircular room, pitch black except for an oblong split in the ceiling. Through this opening, I can see a sprinkling of stars that cast a kind of frosty glow over the intricate mechanism of the huge telescope. The ticking sound you hear is the vibration of the clockwork. Professor Pearson stands directly above me on a small platform, peering through the giant lens. I'll ask you to be patient, ladies and gentlemen, during any delay that may arise during our interview. Besides the ceaseless watch of the heavens, Professor Pearson may be interrupted by telephone or other communications. During this period, he is in constant touch with the astronomical centers of the world. Professor, may I begin our questions?
Any time, Mr. Phillips.
Professor, would you please tell our radio audience exactly what you see as you observe the planet Mars through your telescope?
Nothing unusual at the moment, Mr. Phillips. A red disk swimming in the blue sea. Transverse stripes across the disk. Quite distinct now because Mars happens to be at the point nearest the Earth, in opposition, as we call it.
In your opinion, what do these transverse stripes signify, Professor Pearson?
Not canals, I can assure you, Mr. Phillips.
See.
Although that's the popular conjecture of those who imagine Mars to be inhabited. From a scientific viewpoint, the stripes are merely the result of atmospheric conditions peculiar to the planet.
Then you're quite convinced, as a scientist, that living intelligence as we know it does not exist on Mars?
I'd say the chances against it are 1,000 to 1.
And yet, how do you account for these gas eruptions occurring on the surface of the planet at regular intervals?
Phillips, I cannot account for it.
By the way, Professor, for the benefit of our listeners, how far is Mars from the Earth?
Approximately 40 million miles.
Well, that seems a safe enough distance. Just a moment, ladies and gentlemen. Someone has just handed Professor Pearson a message. While he reads it, let me remind you that we are speaking to you from the observatory in Princeton, New Jersey, where we are interviewing the world-famous astronomer, Professor Pearson. One moment, please. Professor Pearson has passed me a message which he has just received. Professor, may I read the message to the listening audience?
Certainly, Mr. Phillips.
Ladies and gentlemen, I shall read you a wire addressed to Professor Pearson from Dr. Gray of the Natural History Museum, New York. Quote, 9:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Seismograph registered shock of almost earthquake intensity occurring within a radius of 20 miles of Princeton. Please investigate. Signed, Lloyd Gray, Chief of Astronomical Division. Unquote. Professor Pearson, could this occurrence possibly have something to do with the disturbances observed on the planet Mars?
Hardly, Mr. Phillips. This is probably a meteorite of unusual size, and its arrival at this particular time is merely a coincidence. However, we shall conduct a search as soon as daylight permits.
Thank you, Professor. Ladies and gentlemen, for the past 10 minutes, we've been speaking to you from the observatory at Princeton, bringing you a special interview with Professor Pearson, noted astronomer. This is Carl Phillips speaking. We are returning you now to our New York studio.
Ladies and gentlemen, here is the latest bulletin from the Intercontinental Radio News. Toronto, Canada. Professor Morse of Macmillan University reports observing a total of 3 explosions on the planet Mars between the hours of 7:45 p.m. and 9:20 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This confirms earlier reports received from American observatories. Now, nearer home, comes a special bulletin from Trenton, New Jersey. It is reported that at 8:50 p.m., a huge flaming object, believed to be a meteorite, fell on a farm in the neighborhood of Grover's Mill, New Jersey, 22 miles from Trenton. The flash in the sky was visible within a radius of several hundred miles, and the noise of the impact was heard as far north as Elizabeth. We have dispatched a special mobile unit to the scene, and we'll have our commentator, Carl Phillips, give you a word picture of the scene as soon as he can reach there from Princeton. In the meantime, we take you to the Hotel Martinet in Brooklyn, where Bobby Millett and his orchestra are offering a program of dance music.
Entonces la transmisión continuó, y fue así que las cosas comenzaron a ponerse extrañas. Pero antes de eso, la música.
See a cylindrical
Just a minute.
shape.
Something's happening. Ladies and gentlemen, this is terrific. This end of the thing is beginning to flake off. The top is beginning to rotate like a screw, and the thing must be hollow. Move it! Keep back there! Keep back there! Keep those men back! Keep back there! Keep those idiots back! Ladies, off! The top blew! Look out there! Stand back! Ladies and gentlemen, this is the most terrifying thing I've ever witnessed. Wait a minute. Someone calling someone or something. I can see turning out of that black hole two luminous discs. The eyes, might be a face, might be almost but heavens, something wriggling out of the shadow like a gray snake. Now it's another one, and another one, and another one. They look like tentacles to me. Oh, yeah, I can see the thing's body. Now it's large as a bear. It glistens like wet leather, but that face, ladies and gentlemen, it's indescribable. I can hardly force myself to keep looking at it. It's so awful. The eyes are black, and they gleam like a serpent. The mouth is kind of V-shaped with saliva dripping from its rimless lips that seem to quiver and pulsate, and the monster or whatever it is can hardly move. It seems weighed down by possibly gravity or something. The thing's rising up now, and the crowd falls back. They've seen plenty. The most extraordinary experience, ladies and gentlemen. I can't find words. Well, I'll pull this microphone with me as I talk. I'll have to stop the description until I can take a new position. Hold on, will you, please? I'll be right back in a minute.
We are bringing you an eyewitness account of what's happening on the Wilmouth Farm, Grover's Mill, New Jersey. We now return you to Carl Phillips at Grover's Mill.
Ladies and gentlemen, am I on? Ladies and gentlemen, here I am, back of a stone wall that adjoins Mr. Wilmot's garden. From here, I get a sweep of the whole scene. I'll give you every detail as long as I can talk and as long as I can see. More state police have arrived. They're drawing up a cordon in front of the pit. About 30 of them. No need to push the crowd back now. They're willing to keep their distance. The captain's conferring with someone. Can't quite see who. Oh, yes, I believe it's Professor Pearson. Yes, it is. Now they've parted, and the professor moves around one side, studying the object, while the captain and two policemen advance with something in their hands. I can see it now. It's a white handkerchief tied to a pole. Flag of truce. If those preachers know what that means, what anything means. Wait a minute, something's happening.
Las interrupciones fueron cada vez más constantes y cada vez más alarmistas. El pánico ya se había apoderado de las calles de Nueva York y de Nueva Jersey, pues era en aquellas ciudades en las cuales los acontecimientos se estaban llevando a cabo. La invasión estaba ocurriendo allá. Era allá donde se originaron los informes.
Ladies and gentlemen, due to circumstances beyond our control, we are unable to continue the broadcast from Grover's Mill. Evidently, there's some difficulty with our field transmission. However, we will return to that point at the earliest opportunity.
Las llamadas telefónicas a la estación de radio y a las autoridades fueron tantas que se bloquearon las líneas, creando así más y más pánico en la población. El mundo se veía invadido por una raza alienígena, extraterrestres que evidentemente no venían en un tono muy amistoso, seres extraños que habían llegado de un planeta cercano para iniciar una guerra interplanetaria. A través de gigantescas y avanzadas armas que parecían pensar por sí mismas, los extraterrestres provenientes de Marte estaban aniquilando poco a poco al ser humano, y las personas lo estaban escuchando en vivo y en directo. Sin dudas, la raza humana estaba a punto de llegar a su fin. Aquella tecnología era imposible de combatir. Las personas habían entonces ya perdido el control. De pronto, una interrupción más se habría hecho presente. Pero para ese entonces, El caos ya reinaba en las
But we
ciudades.
hope to be able to return you there at the earliest possible moment. In the meantime, we take you to... Just one moment, please.
La transmisión había iniciado con una introducción en la que se presentaba desde el estudio 1 de la CBS una adaptación a la Guerra de los Mundos. Pero al parecer las personas hicieron caso omiso a ello o en definitiva llegaron tarde a la transmisión. Al no haber escuchado que todo aquello no era más que una dramatización, las personas ya estaban vueltas locas. La gente corría enloquecida por las calles, algunos con armas, otros saturando carreteras y bloqueando accesos. La paranoia generada por la transmisión de una dramatización genial a través de un noticiero supuestamente real llegó a límites insospechados. La escena parecía una invasión real, pero sin invasores. Todo era ciencia ficción, aunque con el miedo recorriendo las calles y apoderándose de los nervios de la gente. El responsable de tan magistral actuación sería Orson Welles. Y a pesar de que en la introducción al programa se dijera que no se trataba más que de una dramatización, la adaptación de una novela, todo se salió de control. Al día siguiente, Orson se vio obligado a ofrecer disculpas. Aquel acontecimiento pasaría a la historia por ser el primero en demostrar el poder de los medios de comunicación y cómo de la nada se puede construir una realidad inexistente. Los medios siguen teniendo un poder que no les corresponde, y así como entonces las personas creyeron que la dramatización de una novela a través de la radio era un hecho totalmente real, los medios hoy día siguen dramatizando la información. La realidad es que no es realidad. Los medios hoy día siguen manipulando a las masas. A veces se nos olvida que los medios masivos de comunicación son más que cualquier otra cosa, mero entretenimiento. Duda siempre de lo que te dicen. Solo así nos acercaremos a la verdad universal. Si este video te ha gustado, por favor suscríbete. Activa también la campana de notificaciones para que seas el primero en saber cuándo subo un nuevo video. El mundo entero y sus historias caben en este pequeño rincón.
Gracias por visitarme.